iDubbz, who is a comedian on YouTube with over about 3.3 million subscribers, has made a video called Content Cop, Tana Mongeau, I'm not sure. But anyways, so this brings an important point, and I want to let you guys know two things quickly before you get angry. First of all, this does have to do with politics, and that's why I'm addressing it, because I have not gotten the opportunity to address this yet, and this ties into racism and Black Lives Matter and things like that. So that's number one. Number two, I don't think iDubbz is a racist, so automatically you should know that from the jump. But we are going to discuss, and basically what this is about is this girl called him out for using the N-word a lot, and well, not a lot, but a few times in his videos, and he defended his usage by citing context and making claims that things like that, oh, it's okay to use the other words, but it's not to use this one. He was kind of trying to cite a hypocrisy to defend his position. Now, what is this really about? So it comes down to whether the N-word is okay or not, and people say, oh, it's said in the rap songs all the time, so we should be able to say and all that. Well, first of all, there's a big distinction, okay? And one is that there's a hard ER, and then the other one is just an A. And in rap songs, it's mainly just the A, because that's more of a term of endearment, and to kind of hijack that in a sense would be somewhat interesting of something to do, because I mean, they kind of turned they used their power to, or the African Americans embraced it instead of, I guess you can say, looking down on it, and they made it into a positive term, which is a good thing, right? And so it's a way for them to use a term of endearment. But it's like the ER is what they use. So he also pointed out that she said in the past, and now she's like a Black Lives Matter supporter and all that. So yeah, it's important to be a Black Lives Matter supporter. I do think that should be something that you should generally support. Not saying everyone in the world has to go and picket for them or anything, but at the very least, voicing your opinion and saying that would be nice to contribute. And he hasn't really said anything about that. But here's what I'm thinking. Okay, I don't think he's a racist, but I think that anyone who uses the ER word, it has to be in context, meaning quoting someone, maybe reading Huckleberry Finn, or just something of that nature, to where it is not you using it, especially as a slur to offend. So I think that it's a very repelling word in my opinion. The ER at the very least. The A is different because, again, it's more of a term of endearment that's used among friends. So it's not as bad when it comes to that. It's more casual. But the ER is it's totally unnecessary. But with that said, I'm not going to say he's a racist, because I know he's not a racist. But I also don't appreciate his just very somewhat seemingly, as time goes on, leisurely way of saying it. I don't think that that's necessary. And I don't think that it's really a great look for you, dude. These other people on YouTube aren't using it, and they're doing just fine. So I think that while you shouldn't just be total SJW and say, oh, he's a racist, I totally disagree with that. But I'm going to be somewhere in the middle where I say it's still a repellent word that has a terrible history to it that your ancestors used to demean their ancestors and enslave them while you whipped them, and you didn't let them read, and you took all their money and their crops, and you beat them until they would work and all that. There's still some stuff behind it, man. You can't just say, fuck it, it's just a joke, man, every time you say it. It's still a repelling word that has, the ER has really no place right now, unless you're quoting someone or something that has significance as to what you're trying to say, or a point you're trying to make, or something you're trying to get across. So I think that it's not necessary, but I also don't think that he's a racist for doing such. So I want to know what you guys think. I'm going to respond to quite a bit of comments, because I want to know what you guys think. I think that this is much more nuanced than most things are. And I think that while some people do use the ER and don't, or the hard R as they call it, and they would call them racist, in this specific case, I would say that he's not racist. for sure. But I would still say the word is extremely repellent and it's unnecessary unless you're quoting someone to get a point across or show some evidence or maybe the sense of realism like presented in Huckleberry Finn. But the A is a lot different because it's turned into culture where it's an endearment term. So it's much different. And I won't be saying the word on the show because, again, I think it's extremely repellent and I don't think that it really has a place. So that's my nuanced position. I say he's not a racist for saying it, but it's still a repellent word and it has no real place unless you're trying to quote something as evidence or quote or something like that.